The South China Sea is on the brink. China's warships close in, and the Philippines faces a chilling threat: invasion. Can a small nation stand against a superpower? On Infographic Vision, we're diving into a pulse-pounding story of how China might strike, where battles could erupt, and if the Philippines can fight back. Let's roll. The story opens in Beijing. U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods slash $600 billion in trade, piling pressure on China's leaders. They look to the South China Sea, a $3 trillion hub for trade, fish, and oil. China claims it with sweeping red lines, clashing with the Philippines' rights, upheld by a 2016 court ruling. To secure the sea and assert dominance, China launches an invasion. The attack begins at dawn. China's Navy, with 350 ships, moves swiftly. Destroyers fire missiles at 2nd Thomas Shoal, targeting a Philippine outpost, a grounded ship called BRP Sierra Madre, holding Manila's claim. Capturing it would strengthen China's control. In the Spratly Islands, a cluster rich with fish and oil, Chinese frigates shell Philippine camps, while submarines block supplies, isolating defenders. China then strikes Philippine military bases. A major hub on Palawan, an island near the disputed sea, faces heavy missile fire and bombardment. It's a key spot where U.S. troops train. Another base in the north, close to Taiwan, gets hit by jets. China's 2 million troops and $267 billion budget power this onslaught, outmatching the Philippines' 150,000 troops and $4 billion. Battles erupt along Palawan's coast, with ships clashing, and in the north, where Chinese forces attempt landings. Philippines fights back with grit. China's thousands of tanks and planes overshadow the Philippines' tens of tanks and jets. But 100 patrol boats dart through Palawan's waters, hitting Chinese supply ships and vanishing. Soldiers fire BrahMos missiles, supersonic, India-supplied from mobile launchers, targeting destroyers. The Angels of the Sea, an all-female unit of the Philippine Coast Guard, broadcast China's moves, rallying the world. U.S. F-16s roar into Palawan's base, part of 9 U.S. sites added since 2023. Balikatan drills, 16,000 troops training shoulder to shoulder, pay off as soldiers block landings in Luzon's hills. Civilians sneak supplies to Spratlys, defying blockades. China takes the shoal, but Manila holds fast. Allies rush in. The U.S., tied by a 1951 treaty, deploys carriers to Palawan, backed by billions in pledged aid. Japan sends radar boats, Australia submarines, fortifying Luzon. ASEAN nations, Vietnam, Malaysia, urge talks, eyeing $3 trillion in trade at risk. China's drills and island bases alarm the region, but Manila's stand holds the spotlight. So, can the Philippines defend? The story forks. First, they hold their ground. U.S. F-16s and Philippine BrahMos missiles sink Chinese frigates off Palawan, securing sea lanes. Balikatan-trained troops retake Spratly camps guided by Japan's radars. ASEAN, led by Vietnam, brokers a deal. China shares fishing zones and oil rights to save $874 billion in exports, but pulls back from the shoal. Manila raises its flag, cheered by crowds, though $35 billion in modernization, HIMARS naval upgrades, keeps bases alert. Trade flows, but Taiwan watches closely, fearing China's next move. Second, they lose ground. China's jets and drones overwhelm Palawan's hub, cutting U.S. F-16s. Spratlys fall, and Luzon's north collapses under landings by less than 2 months. China's Monster, a 12,000-ton Coast Guard ship, patrols the sea, enforcing its 9-dash line. Global trade chokes. 3 trillion stalls, gas jumps 100%, delaying tech from Singapore to LA. Inflation spikes your groceries. The U.S. imposes sanctions, but China's islands, armed with anti-ship missiles, block Luzon's strait routes. ASEAN splinters. Malaysia hedges, Vietnam arms up. Manila rebuilds, but loses 200 nautical miles of sea, mourning thousands. Third, peace prevails. UN talks in Hanoi, backed by Australia, halt fighting by a few months. A freeze-locks claims no shoal or Spratly gains for anyone. Filipino fishermen return, guarded by ASEAN patrols, saving $3 trillion in trade. Oil drills pause, delaying energy, but $5 billion in U.S. aid rebuilds Palawan's base. China keeps its islands but faces EU sanctions, losing $200 billion in trade. Manila plans evacuations for 300,000 workers from Taiwan, wary of escalation. The sea calms, yet Taiwan's drills signal a fragile truce. This is the Philippines saga, a nation's defiance against a larger foe. Can they stop China's invasion? Which one do you think will happen? hold, lose, or peace? Comment now. If this hooked you, hit like, subscribe to Infographic Vision, and ring the bell for more. Let's keep the world in focus.